Hello, and welcome to the following presentation on personal pronouns. This might be an area in which you've struggled in the past. We hope to clarify any confusion you might still have regarding what personal pronouns are and when and how to use them in academic writing. Let's dive in. Let's start with a look at this list of personal pronouns and their possessive forms. First person singular, I, me, my and mine, and plural, we, us, our and ours. Second person singular, you, your and yours, and plural, you, your and yours. And third person singular, she, her, her and hers, he, him, his, it, its, one and ones, and plural, them, they, their and theirs. You will need to keep in mind that college writing situations vary in stylistic requirements, tone, audience, and purpose. Consider what each pronoun does and what type of assignment you are completing in determining which to use. Often, your instructors will tell you which is preferred in their courses. First-person point of view is used to write narratives, stories about personal experiences, autobiographies, and application essays. There are instances where you might wish to emphasize agency or who is doing what, to point out how valuable your project is to an academic discipline, to claim your interest in an issue, to clarify your unique perspective, or to explain how your ideas depart from the work of others. Students often ask, will I help my style or argument? Using the first person can strengthen those arguments in need of concrete illustrations, as in the following. Original statement. In studying American popular culture of the 1980s, the question of to what degree materialism was a major characteristic of the cultural milieu was explored. Now, using first person, in our study of American popular culture of the 1980s, we explored the degree to which materialism characterized the cultural milieu. Note how the original example sounds less emphatic and direct. Do remember, however, that academic writing usually requires us to avoid using I or mine in favor of the third-person point of view, as it is more objective and convincing. Most topics can be researched and argued independently of your individual perspective. Be assured that your viewpoints will still be apparent, as the reader knows that it is you who is the author of the piece he or she is reading. Consider these. Original statement. As I observed the communication styles of first-year Carolina women, I noticed frequent use of nonverbal cues. Revised. A study of the communication styles of first-year Carolina women revealed frequent use of nonverbal cues. Here, avoiding the first person creates the impression that the writer observes something that could be reproduced and also creates a stronger statement. Original statement. As I was reading this study of medieval village life, I noticed that social class tended to be clearly defined. Better, this study of medieval village life reveals that social class tended to be clearly defined. The revised version sounds more academic, i.e. formal, and makes the statement more assertive and direct. Original statement. I am writing this paper to discuss how I believe climate change is a major problem. Better. Climate change is a significant issue and over time may result in glaciers melting and the accelerated rise of sea level. Original statement. I think that Aristotle's ethical arguments are logical and readily applicable to contemporary cases. Better. Aristotle's ethical arguments are logical and readily applicable to contemporary cases. In these last two examples, there is no need for announcement. Readers will assume that the ideas are those of the writers. Secondly, the original example presents a personal opinion with no supporting facts. Moving on to second-person point of view, which directly addresses the reader and works well for speech and letter writing and for offering advice or explaining a process. Academic writing often avoids second person because of its casual nature and the idea that it can alienate the reader if he or she does not identify with the argument. Second person also implies that the writer may be less confident in his or her ideas. Consider this statement. Uprisings in prisons often occur when you allowed overcrowded conditions. Is the reader allowing the conditions? Here is a revised version. Uprisings in prisons often occur when the authorities allow overcrowded conditions. And another, neither qualitative interviews nor focus groups are likely to give you easily quantifiable, factual, or objective data. Here, the writer is implying that the readers are not likely to be given this data directly. Finally, third-person point of view identifies individuals by proper nouns, i.e. Joe Smith, or through he, she, one, etc. Most formal academic writing uses the third person as it is credible, assertive, and professional. Note the following examples. The bosses at the factory have decided that employees need a day of in-house training. Times have been scheduled for everyone. Several senior employees will be required to offer 5-minute presentations. One is not eager to speak in front of others as she's very shy. Human sex trafficking is a social problem that requires decisive action. Its victims should be given the opportunity to escape the cycle of exploitation to which they have become slaves. And educationalists need training in order to better observe their pupils' unexpressed needs. We will conclude with a message about gender-fair use of language. Avoid the automatic use of the masculine pronoun because it is considered sexist language. Using he or she is preferred. If you find you are using these pronouns too often, consider using a person, one, an individual, or the plural form. For example, a person knows he or she has faith if he or she is firm in belief. An individual such as he or she would be perfect as the new head chef. And one more, students will do better if they have a voice in the decision. Note that he and she are singular pronouns. Many students tend to use the third person plural they or their, which is incorrect. Be mindful of this when proofing your work. We've reached the conclusion of our presentation. Thank you for joining us. We hope that this information on the personal pronouns and what they mean will be beneficial to you as you navigate your courses here at Johnson & Wales University. For more on these and other writing issues, please don't hesitate to contact the Student Writing Support Specialist or your instructor.